What if I told you the physique you're currently looking at was built from compound movements? Would you believe me? What's up, BP Squad, and welcome back to another video. Today, guys, we're gonna talk about why you should primarily focus on training compound movements, the benefits, the pros and cons, and we're gonna also compare this to isolation exercises. Let's dive in. First things first, guys, what is a compound movement? Compound exercises are just any type of movement that involves more than one muscle group. Compound exercises are going to recruit multiple muscle groups in order to carry out that type of movement pattern. In regards to weightlifting, bench press, deadlifts, squats are all compound movements. They recruit multiple muscle groups, which is why they serve as a staple in many weightlifting programs. The same thing with calisthenics. You have your compound movements: push-up, pull-up, dips. All of these exercises are compound-based movements. If you recruit multiple muscle groups, that serves as a compound-based exercises, which is gonna lead to greater strength gains and more muscle gains, because now those muscles are working together, which is gonna lead to you lifting heavier weights, or let's say in calisthenics, being able to pull or push more body weight. This is a big reason why your strength is gonna increase. So for example, let's say you're doing pull-ups and you wanna build more strength. Your body already knows how much energy needs to be expended in order for you to pull your body weight. But let's say you wanna build more strength, then that's where weighted pull-ups come in. So if you do plus 25 pounds on top of your body weight, let's say you take my weight for example, 182 pounds. That's an extra 25 pounds, which is gonna lead to 207 pounds. Now my brain is like, I gotta send a stronger signal to the motor neurons in order for us to pull this extra body weight. This in turn recruits more muscle fibers, and the CNS has to work harder, but also your muscles, which is gonna lead to greater strength gains. And as this 25 pounds gets easier for me, then it's time to bump it up a notch. Let's go an extra 20 pounds, make it 45 pounds in total. Now my body weight goes from 207 to 227. The same movement, but now it's extra weight. Now my brain has to send an even stronger signal than before, which is the same process over and over again. Progressive overload with compound-based movements is gonna yield more strength and more muscle gains. And see, what makes pull-ups an essential exercise into your training regimen is because you're not only recruiting those smaller muscles, but those big muscles. That being the latissimus dorsi, rhomboids, the erector spinae, traps. Every single muscle group of your back is being recruited. That's gonna be your agonist muscle. That's the prime mover. And then you have your synergist muscles, which help to assist with the movement pattern. That's gonna be your biceps and part of your forearm muscles, specifically your brachialis. These muscles work synergistically with your agonist muscles to carry out the movement. Then when you get to that top position of the pull-up, you're gonna come down. You have your antagonistic muscles, which work opposite of your pulling muscles. So you're pulling with your back and arms. Now you're gonna be coming down, essentially emulating a pushing-like movement, and you're working your chest. That's the perfect example of an upper body compound exercise. You have your lower body compound exercises: barbell back squats, Zercher squats, front squats. These are all compound-based movements that work primarily your lower body, right? But you're also gonna be working your upper body. The Zercher squat is a prime example. You have that barbell in front of you, which is gonna work those spinal erectors. You're working your quads, glutes, and other accessory muscles. With that said, let's tie into the second benefit, building functional strength. We talked about the Zercher squat just a moment ago. The Zercher squat is a must-do exercise because it's gonna help build functional strength. When you think about it, guys, when you go to pick things up, you typically don't get in great form just to pick it up. You get in a partial squat position, you bend over, grab it, stand up, and you just go about your business. Zercher squat emulates this, and this is why it's the perfect compound exercise to build functional strength. Now, training in general is gonna make you more functional because you're building strength, you're building lean muscle tissue. There's tons of benefits when you work out. But when you train functionally, that's when you take things to the next level. You may not think of it, but the muscle up is a functional move. It's a push-pull compound exercise that potentially can save your life. Let's say, for instance, you're hanging off a cliff. Hopefully you're not, but you think about it. You gotta pull and you have to push up in order for you to get over that cliff. Most of us will probably never be in that scenario, but the muscle up is just a fantastic compound exercise. Functional strength training using compound-based exercises is a must, especially as we age. Now, the third benefit I wanna talk about is that you save on time. Let's say, for instance, you wake up early and you head to the gym before you go to work. Rather than waste your time doing so many different isolation exercises, focus more on compound-based movements. So maybe 2 to 4 compound exercises, the first 2 being your toughest, and then you just reduce the volume and intensity a bit with your last 2, and then maybe do like 2 or 3 isolation exercises. You're gonna save on time, you're gonna build more strength, leading to more muscle gains. You will be rewarded much more with compound-based exercises versus spending so much time doing isolation ones. For example, guys, my current training regimen, I'm doing like 2 to 3, sometimes 4 compound-based movements. Then I have 1 or sometimes just 2 isolation focused exercises. If your focus is strength and more muscle, more compound based exercises. Isolation exercises are there to supplement your compound based training. So for example, I'm training planche. I do isolation exercises like bicep curls to help assist with my planche training. But I'm not doing a ton of sets or reps. Now, should you just completely abandon isolation exercises? Absolutely no. They're there for a purpose. Compound exercises recruit multiple muscle groups. Isolation exercises pretty much target one muscle group, but that helps to add more stability and details to your muscles. So for instance, bicep curls, they're gonna help with the biceps by strengthening those weak points of my biceps, increasing my strength, and then I can also add more size if this is my goal. But you don't really need 4 to 5 sets of dumbbell bicep curls or even tons of reps and sets of tricep extensions or dumbbell skull crushers. In actual reality, all you really need is like 2 or 3 sets of isolation-based exercises. Just use these to supplement your workout. You don't need to break down your body for an hour and a half, 2 hours, because most of your energy should have been expended on those compound exercises. At this point, you're still working hard with the isolation ones, but you shouldn't be so tired out from isolation-based training. And of course, I mentioned earlier about how you get more bang for your buck when you train compound-based movements. But keep in mind, guys, you're also gonna burn more calories because again, you're recruiting multiple muscle groups. Your muscles have to work harder because you're essentially moving more weight, which is gonna expend more energy, which is gonna lead to your heart working a whole lot harder, which this is gonna lead to burning more calories, and you're essentially gonna burn more fat. That's why I always advocate, if you wanna lose weight, don't just focus on cardio. Focus more on strength training. You burn a lot of calories doing strength training, specifically compound-based exercises. Believe it or not, the common notion is to run if you wanna burn fat. No, you don't need to go that route to burn more fat. Lift weights, use body weight training, do something strength training based because that's gonna give you a better bang for your buck. Still implement cardio, but try to understand those squats, specifically with weights, let's say you're doing like 4 to 5 sets, they're gonna reward you that much more versus just running on the treadmill for like 5 or 10 minutes. And your body is gonna thank you in the long run because our joints are meant to respond to that type of stress. If you do not incorporate strength training, your body is gonna break down over time. So make sure you guys do your strength training program and really focus on those compound-based exercises. And studies show you have an increased hormonal response because you're recruiting multiple muscle groups. So keep that in mind when you're doing your squats, bench press, push-ups, pull-ups, muscle-ups, whatever compound-based exercise you're doing, it's gonna yield fantastic results. Guys, you know what to do. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you smash that like button. Most importantly, make sure you are properly subscribed. I'll see you guys next video. Peace and love as always. Nah, shade. Perfect. Boom. We out, baby.